Times during the off season, we get to talk to awesome players who were drafted, but now we get to talk to a player who wasn't drafted, and he's already made it to Double A Corpus Christi. And we'll get to talk to Jimmy Endersby on the Locked On Astros podcast that starts now.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and Instagram and at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros.
And guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. If you have not subscribed by now, why have you not? Just go YouTube and look up Locked On Astros. It's really easy. And go and give us a thumbs up while you're there. And on your way to work, on your way home to work, just go ahead and listen to us on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Listen to Locked On Astros podcast. So, Brett, I'm going to give you the honor of introducing our special guest.
Yeah, so we have Jimmy Endersby. Jimmy Endersby was an undrafted free agent in 2020, and he comes in and he basically you skip some of the lower levels. You made it to Corpus. Jimmy, tell us where they can find you on Twitter and follow you.
Twitter, I believe it's at Jimmy Endersby 15. Just pretty straight up, nothing to it.
Excellent.
That's my Twitter.
Okay, cool. Because it says 20. I think you said 15.
Oh, I might have moved it. I might have changed it to 20. There you go.
Yeah, I was thinking, wait, I typed it wrong, and I just looked on Twitter, so it's Jimmy Endersby 20. And you know that's okay. I mean, look, it's the off season, and I'm sure you've got a lot going on. You guys just aren't sitting on your hands. You're kind of prepping for this next season. So I just want to start off by asking you this question. A lot of times the guys that get drafted, why they get drafted, right? And there's a certain regiment, the team's wanting them, but then a guy like yourself comes in as an undrafted free agent. Is there a different mindset that you feel like you have to bring in as an undrafted free agent to prove yourself more than a player that was drafted, or do you just take it business as usual going forward once you get into the organization?
Yeah, I just took it business as usual. It was 2020. It was cut to a 5-round draft. That was unfortunate for all of us, and I mean, I just had to look at it as it was. I was just had to seize the opportunity. I realized that the Astros wanted me as well. I wanted them, and they wanted me, and they wanted all the other free agents, and that's how I looked at it. It's the same thing as getting drafted.
So, do you have any idea? Let's just say that it was a regular draft. Do you have any idea where you would have gone?
I mean, there was talks from like 5 to 10, 5 to 15. I mean, you really never know. They can give you a round, but at the end of the day, it's if your name's called or not.
No, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you look at guys that like great players, Hall of Famers like Mike Piazza. I think he was like a 36 or 38th round pick, and the round your pick doesn't really matter. Usually it's the first round guys that have all the pressure. And then everybody after that, it's basically about putting your nose to the grindstone and working hard like you did growing up to get you to that level. When you flew through the lower levels, you made it to Corpus. What do you attribute that to? Now, I know you were with Cal State Fullerton in college, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you think your college experience is what helped catapult you to the AA level, or was it just flat out you think your performance and what you had already proven?
I just kept my head down because at Cal State Fullerton, I didn't get much of the opportunity to pitch. So I always kept that chip on my shoulder. Then I had to transfer to a D2. So I just kept my head down and I just kept playing. I think the best thing is opportunity. If you get the opportunity and you seize it, do the best you can with it. That's how I looked at it because I didn't get much opportunity. So when I got it, I did everything I could with it.
I was just looking at that. You only pitched 22 games in college,
I think I
and
had close to like 19 innings.
yes,
Wow.
and so it's something. Let me see. Well, it said
At
45.
Fullerton.
Yeah.
At
Oh,
Fullerton.
Burlington. Okay. Yeah, yeah. And then you went
Now,
to. Okay, yeah.
no, yeah, you were also a you were a teammate of Brett Canine. I actually interviewed Brett this last year at Sugarland. Great guy. He had some cool things to say. He actually talked about, I believe Trey Mancini is a friend of his. And so it's just neat to see that you guys have these connections along the way. Um, do you hope to get up to Sugarland at some point this year and kind of reunite with your old friend there?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I just got off the phone with Brett, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago, and we were just talking about how exciting it would be to see each other up in AAA. I asked him where he was training because usually we live in the same city here in California, and he's in Texas right now. So I said that's unfortunate, but I hope to see you at camp, or I hope to see you later during the season down the road.
So I know that you changed colleges to get a little bit more playing time, but what was the biggest
Yep.
takeaway you got from college? Just the pitching experience.
Ooh. That you have to compete. There's more pitchers at there are more pitchers on a college roster, I believe. So they don't need you. If they don't need you, they're not going to pitch you. That's how I looked at it. And so it's next man up in college. It's pretty competitive. So I looked at it like that, and I used that mentality in pro ball. And I was like, I have to. Not that I have to, but I didn't. I put pressure on myself. I was like, you got to compete every time you touch that rubber, and stuck with it, and I moved on.
So, thinking about that, it is definitely a grind. And from what other guys have told us on these interviews, is when you go from high school to college, you go from high school where you have your Friday night pitchers, as they call them. When you go to college, everybody's the Friday night pitcher. Like everybody's the starting one because there's a log jam. I mean, there's only 750 something spots in the major leagues, right? And so that log jam gets tighter and tighter. What would you say was there one thing that happened in your career as a young ball player or a moment that you can look back on that you told yourself, you know what, I'm going to make it to the major leagues. I'm going to become a professional pitcher. Or is that something that you're trying to realize and retune every day as your goal?
That's what I'm trying to refine every day right now. Like I said, in college there wasn't much opportunity for me. Maybe at the end of my college career when I started getting some looks from professional teams. I think pretty much during this season I was like I could be a big leaguer through my performances. I was able to handle adversity at some times because what's baseball without adversity? It's not going to be perfect every time. It's a tough sport. So I think during this season I was just like I could be a big leaguer. I put my nose to
Yeah,
the ground and let's go.
That's
you,
awesome.
you definitely showed the strikeout ability in between the two levels this year: 110 strikeouts and 97 innings pitch. So you did allow. You did have a save. So it looks like you're kind of going back and forth between the bullpen and starting games. Which one do you prefer?
Uh, Starting for sure. What's funny is like in high A and then a little bit in double A, we do piggybacks. So in the beginning of the season, we'll go two starters a game, and if one starter's logged 5 innings, the other starter's logged four. If the first starter
Right.
can't complete his five, we'll have a bridge guy, and a
Right.
bullpen guy will come in, do that. And so I had the last four, and so if you get in a save opportunity, you get or you pitch your 3 innings, you get that save. So I was technically starting that game, but in the back end.
Right. Yeah, that's
But
what I was trying to
out of
lead
the
up to. Go ahead.
yeah, so out of the bullpen, you get a little more adrenaline. You don't know when your name's about to get called, and then boom, hey, can you get Jimmy hot? That's a cool feeling. But I'd much rather start just to know when I'm going to pitch, have my routine, um, and yeah, I love starting, being able to listen to music and know what I get to do that day.
And Brett, I think Jimmy would love a Built Bar right before he's
Yeah,
starting the game.
definitely.
He would be like, you know what, I'm pumped. I've got my music. I want a Built Bar. Let's go.
So hey, Jimmy, let me tell you, if you haven't heard of Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar in the land. It's a new year, and we're looking for a new you. I know you've got goals, and if you've got that workout routine going, you've got your tosses in, but you're like, you know what? I can't nail down that healthy snack. Well, I got the answer for you. It's called Built Bar. It's wrapped in 100% chocolate, real chocolate that is, and it's a protein bar. It's not chalky, heavy, weighted with extra sugar, extra carbs that you don't need. It's perfect for your diet. So you can take it to the team guy and say, hey, this is healthy for me, right? He would say definitely, because most Built Bars have 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 grams of net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Compare that to candy bars. You don't even want to go there because they are the big league bar of protein bars. They have all kinds of flavors like, coconut almond, peanut butter brownie, raspberry, cookies and cream, salted caramel, mint brownie, and so much more. Built is always coming out with new flavors, limited time flavors. So check them out at built.com and you'll see what we're talking about. You go to my fridge, like everybody knows, the legend tells it, we've got a fridge full of Built Bars. If you go to built.com, use a promo code LOCKED15, you'll get 15% off your first order. Use the promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off. Go to built.com. Tell them that H-Town Wheelhouse, Eric the Man Heisman, and Jimmy Endersby sent you.
All right. So Jimmy, I like to do this, and I know Brett said, "What was that moment where you thought you could become a major leaguer?" What was that moment that you're like, man, this is not for me? Your most embarrassing moment on the mound, like you're like, oh crap, what just happened? Or I shouldn't have thrown that pitch, or just something that you're just like that moment where you're just like, man, I shouldn't have thrown that pitch or something. Do you have one?
Yeah, of course I have plenty. Uh, Now I don't know if it's which one I should decide on.
You can have two if you want.
I like I said, I have plenty. In college, I'll tell you a funny one. In college, I don't remember the team. I just remember the experience. I walked the first guy. I came in out of the bullpen. I walked the first guy, and with that pitch being thrown, the pitch hadn't even got to home plate. My coach already started walking out because it was ball four, and I was already getting taken out after the first hitter I faced. And I was like, "Did I just really just waste my time? Is this what I want to do?" Because there's so much adversity to it, man. Like it does screw you up mentally if you're not going the right way. And so yeah, I've had plenty of those. I've given up a grand slam against San Antonio this season at home in the first inning.
Oh, wow.
And Jesse, he was our mental skills coach. He was there. Our assistant GM Pete, he was there. There was a lot of people there, and there was a lot of pressure on me. And Jesse came up to me. It's the bottom of the first, and we're down already 4-0. And Jesse goes, "It's not how you start; it's how you finish." And I eventually went 5 1/3, no runs scored
Wow.
after that. So then
Hey,
I went to talk to Jesse after, and he goes, "Would you rather have given up 4 in the first and throw up zeros the rest of the game, or would you rather have thrown zeros up the whole game and give up 4 in your last?" I said, "Yeah, there's two. I mean, it's half full, half empty, right? You got to look at it that way. And I'd much rather give up 4 in the first and then just go zeros the rest of the time. That's how I would."
Great answer.
and no, that's awesome. And see, that doesn't surprise me because everything that I've heard from everyone, whether it's Lance McCullers Jr. or you or Pete Solomon or Jake Myers, everybody says the same thing about the coaches, about where they put you guys mentally. Because I know they feed you a ton of stuff with a ton of stats, and they say sometimes it's like drinking through a fire hose, processing that information. So along those lines, which of the pitching coaches have been instrumental for you? I know there's Eric Neeson, there's Graham Johnson. Um, who are you looking forward to working with in 2022? Are there any coaches that stick out in your mind? As you know, of course, I know they're all helpful, but is there anyone that you really kind of stuck close to because of what you felt like he was giving you?
I think I've I think I've actually picked each one of those guys' brains. Every single pitching coach that we had, Ezra. You guys probably don't even know Ezra. Brother Ezra was our rehab guy back at the complex. Abreu was our AAA guy. I was at Instructs, and I was lucky enough to have some of the guys there. Murphy was our coordinator at the time. I think every guy is helpful in their own way. It's awesome. I think every guy's experienced, every guy's intelligent. They know pitching. I had Neeson in high A, and I had Johnson in double A. And I think Neeson is, I'm going to give this to him, he's the smartest pitching guy I've ever met.
Wow.
It was incredible to hear what he has to say about pitching. Now I have Thomas. I'm texting Thomas Whitsett. I think he's one of our new coaches now, I believe. He's awesome. I love talking to him about pitching. I like to see what every guy's insight has because everyone's different. Everyone has their own way of pitching. So if I can grab one thing from Whitsett and one thing from Neeson and put it in my way and apply it to my game, and that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah,
So
And
definitely.
to follow up that second question, who I'm excited to work with, I'm just excited to see everyone, see what they have, see what if they saw anything last season that I can work on this season. That's what we're doing right now. There's like a little group chat of about 3 coaches and I on what I need to work on this off season, and I'm so close. I'm right there on it, so that's what I'm excited for.
all right. So I'm going to ask a very hard hitting question. You're a California guy. How's your surf game?
I don't surf. I
Oh,
knew
you
that was
don't?
coming. I don't surf.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was not a fan of the ocean. My
Okay.
mom kept me and my sister very close to her when we went to the beach, and yeah, I just don't like the ocean at all. It's kind of funny.
Really interesting. It's
Yeah.
funny. My next door neighbor, right here in my neighborhood, he's grown up in Texas his whole life, and he surfs. He surfs every week. And you're talking about
Oh
Galveston.
yeah.
I mean, Galveston doesn't always have the most boisterous waves, but when there's a storm blowing in, he's out there surfing. My father
Oh, I
grew up
know. Like,
surfing on the East Coast in Florida, and so I've heard all the stories. But yeah, there's not too many California guys that don't surf. Now, were you a
yeah,
skater? Were you were
I
you a
did skate.
BMXer? You did skate? Okay.
Yeah, I did. I like to skate. I can't get on a skateboard now, but I'll ride it here and there. But I won't try to do any tricks on it. It's just like that thrill. I know Shea Whitcomb. You guys know him. He
Yeah.
lives in San Diego. We're in the same agency, and we sat down one time, and he told me he has a story of him in the water at like 4 in the morning. He went fishing, and he got bumped by a shark. And I said, I don't want to hear the rest of your story, dude. I got like chills. So that's why I'm not gonna ever go close to the water. I just don't need to be. I like land. I like living. I don't need to, risk it all.
Well, have you seen Sharknado? Because that may not help either. Because the sharks come. Just kidding.
Well,
Yeah,
here's the deal. Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
go for it. I was gonna say
Well, so
I
the
just stayed away from the ocean. I just like to skate. I was always playing video games growing up, doing all that. That's what I
yeah,
did.
so so this last weekend I went fishing with some buddies off the shore. We were over at Bolivar Peninsula, and instead of trying to cast bait out really far, we had it hooked up to a drone. We had a fishing drone that they literally carried the bait out into the water 330 meters and dropped it. We were catching 40-inch red drum. It was pretty cool. And so
Really?
it's just one of those things that has really been neat to see. Hey, we got a question from someone listening. Adam Wynn says, how's the transition from Cali to Texas been?
Oh, that one was tough. Now I had a glimpse. I don't know if it's gonna offend any Floridians or Texans. When I went to Florida in October for instructs, that was one of the worst weather I've ever been a part of. It was like muggy, showing up every day. Now, when I went to Corpus Christi in the middle of the summer, that was the worst weather I've ever been a part of. Just muggy. It was like 110, humid. It was nuts. You don't really get humid here. Uh, it would rain a lot in Corpus. It would rain hard. You don't get much here. We are spoiled in California with weather. I'll tell you that. Spoiled.
It sure didn't hurt your pitching game. I mean, you pitched. You had
Oh,
3.48 ERA. So
I remember I was pitching against the San Antonio Missions on a day game on a Sunday, and I remember finishing my pregame bullpen. I'm walking out of the gate, and Graham looks to me and goes, "There's worse things you can be doing right now than pitching in 110-degree weather on a Sunday for the Astros." And I went out there, And I'm telling you guys, I thought I was gonna pass out. I went out there on my first inning, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be hell." Keep coming back out, second inning, third inning, fourth inning, fifth inning. I got my fifth inning done, and Graham goes, "You're done." I go, "Thank God, I'm done." I
Wow.
did my thing, passed the ball over to the bullpen. I couldn't do it. I asked my trainer for ammonia water. I don't know if you guys know what that is. I don't even know what
Yes.
it is. I just know it cools you down. I've
Yeah,
never used it before.
we call it Florida water, and a lot of the select baseball teams use it. And basically, there's like this like horrible like old man's cologne. It's called Florida water, and they pour it in these igloo coolers with ice, and then they put their
Yep.
towels in there, and they just keep it cold.
And my trainer would just put a towel on
Yes,
my head
yeah.
and just like massage my head, get it cold again, and I'd go out.
Exactly. And see, I was going to tell you, there's actually a history there, Jimmy. I teach Texas history, and whenever Mexico wanted its independence from Spain, they were trying to get their people to move up into Texas and settle Texas, and they wouldn't. You know why they wouldn't? Because they didn't like the humidity. They didn't like the environment.
Yep.
It's actually a historical fact. That's why they started offering land so cheap, and all the people from the South United States came into Texas, is because they were like, we don't mind it. It's cheap land. But the people in Mexico City, in that area, they were like, we like where we live. We're good. Like, we don't need to move. So the whole humidity thing is a historical. I mean, it is at historical proportions. I've talked to people who have traveled all over the world. They say the Houston area is one of the hottest places. But when I think of these things, I know that a lot of people aren't betting on the Houston Astros. Why? Because they went to the World Series this last year and they fell short. But I think that the Astros are the favorites to win the World Series in 2022. Don't call me a homer. I just know the facts. So go to Bet Online right now. It is a new betting year, and you can continue. You can watch teams march to the playoffs or through the playoffs. I mean, you've got some key NFL matchups coming up. No, not the Houston Texans. Sorry, Cowboys fans, y'all are out too. Hey, I hear y'all are going to win it all next year, but that's okay. BetOnline remains the number one spot for all sports betting wagering action in 2022. The new updated desktop and mobile site, um, they allow you to sign up for a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code Locked On to get started. From football, basketball, hockey, boxing, UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
All right, Jimmy, I'm going to give you a second and I'm going to let you. I haven't done this before, but I feel like I should do this with you, being an undrafted free agent. I want you to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody who helped you get to the point you're at, like your parents, whatever. Just take a minute or two and just do a quick shout out. So anybody who's watching it, you can do that.
Yeah, my previous coaches. First, my mom. My mom's awesome. She's my rock. I love her so much. She was there for me. She went to every one of my baseball games. My family, my brother, my sister. Um, they're very supportive. They're not very athletic. They went their own route and very successful. I'm happy for them. Um, my previous coaches, if there's one person if there's actually two guys that I'm happy that I met them and I owe my life to is Casey Jacobson. He is now the pitching coordinator for the Cubs. I met him before he was with the Cubs. And Evan Wise, he's now the pitching coach for an NAIA team in Georgia, uh, Gwinnett School, something like that. Those two guys I owe my life to. They were the reason why I am now who I am today. Those guys are awesome. They were my pitching coaches for one summer and completely changed my mechanics. And I'm here today talking to you guys in Double A.
Man, that's awesome.
Awesome.
That is cool. Hey guys, I don't know if y'all realize this. I don't know if you see the person, for those of y'all listening, and if you're listening on audio, we have Hunter Brown has dropped in. I mean, this is a star-studded epic podcast tonight. Hunter Brown, and I told y'all, I tweeted it out. If you listen, you might be listening with Hunter Brown. He says, "Hey, just curious, Jimmy, why was there a feeling of negative when saying you transferred to a D2? I was under the impression that there was plenty of good ball players that came from D2 schools." LOL. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is he taking a shot there, or is that is that a
Oh,
real
no.
perception?
Oh, first and foremost, Hunter Brown, you owe me a new glove. Hunter was my catch play partner in AA every day and broke my glove. He owes me a new glove. No, going to a D2, it's frowned upon. It for sure is. Going from a top D1 school, Cal State Fullerton is a very nationwide known school, you know? And I'm going to say this. There are good baseball players in every division, D1, D2, D3, and AIA. They're there. It doesn't matter by the division. I'll tell you that right now. Because I know a guy that went to a D3 right next to me, right in my city, and he's with the Pirates. And he was the top pick. There's good baseball everywhere. You just got to find them. And there is no nothing like that, Hunter. I know you're the top D2 prospect. All that.
That's awesome. I didn't know if he would actually come in. I asked him if he would, and he said that he had an event tonight, but he kind of alluded to the fact that you guys are buddies. I do want to ask you this, something that a friend kind of he put this bug in my ear, and so I wanted to ask you, is there one pitcher or one hitter that you could tell Astros fans about to watch out for 2022 that they may not know about? We recently interviewed Joe Perez. We've interviewed Sean Dubin, and then after that, who are some of the toughest guys that you've faced within the organization? So let's start with: is there a hitter or pitcher out there that you think someone, if they don't know their name, you want to tell them their name?
Yeah, someone that's off the radar. For pitcher, I'd say Joe Record. He was a Rule 5 guy. He was with me in AA. I've been with Joe the past 2 days. He's came to train with me because he's back home for a little bit. And he was a starter when I got to AA, and then something happened, and he got pushed back to the bullpen. And that dude was absolutely lights out of the bullpen. An electric fastball, super heavy bowling ball fastball. He has 4 pitches out of the bullpen. I don't know if he's going to need all 4 because out of the bullpen you usually need 2, but if he needs all 4 and he's going to use all 4, they're electric. I was with him today, played catch with him today, and then I saw him throw his bullpen, and it was awesome. I think he's so good. I think he's going to be awesome for the next year. He'll be in the big league soon, I'll tell you that. If not with us, with someone else for sure. Hitter, he's gonna laugh when he hears this. Brian Arias. He was with me in AA. He came late, and that guy's awesome. He told me he's working on his infield. He said, "Wait till you see me at camp. I'm a completely different infielder." I said, "All right, I'll see you." But I know he can swing it. I know he has crazy power. He did have a little setback with his foot, but I think he's a great athlete, great baseball player. I'm excited to see his 2022 season come. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I know that.
And then what was that last question?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well,
One more question.
Yeah, the last question, and real quick, who is the toughest person that you faced hitter wise within the organization? Yeah.
I have faced plenty of good dudes. I can name them all. Corey Lee, Pena, McKenna. Who else? I've faced Barefoot, Joe Perez. I faced all these guys at Instructs, camp, and then we had like a couple of days before season where we've had live hitters. It's just their approach, man. And they're professional hitters. They want, and if you're not going to throw what they want, they're not going to swing at it. So you better be able to compete and throw in the zone. But I think I have a little plan for each guy now that I've faced them plenty of times. So I'll keep that in my back pocket. I'm not going to announce that one for them if they hear this at all. Hunter and I actually know what we do to some hitters. We talk about it all the time.
That's awesome.
So I know that the Astros have been using Sugarland, I guess the Space Cowboys now that they're called, as the rehab spot. But I think that a couple of big leaguers have made their way down to Corpus Christi. Did you get a chance to work with any of the big leaguers this year?
Pitchers, no. I heard Urquidy was there, but Urquidy was there before I was.
Okay.
And then Almeida Diaz came, super cool dude. And then Jason Castro came.
Okay.
And Jason Castro and I were locker mates, and the guy was awesome. Yeah, that was in San Antonio. He was cool.
Did you learn anything from him? Because he's as veteran a catcher as you can get.
He came one day.
Okay.
He came for one day because I guess Sugarland was off that day, so it was a Wednesday, I believe. He came,
Okay.
caught, and left. Like, I didn't get to talk too much. I didn't want to bug him. They're on their own schedule. But it's cool.
Yeah,
It's cool to just watch how those guys carry themselves.
Yeah, I know when Josh Reddick spent a couple weeks down there on like a rehab assignment, like he was there for a couple weeks, so he went and he bought the minor leaguers, like a dinner. He took them out and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
hopefully one day you'll be in that position. Hopefully one day you'll be one of those major leaguers that if you're having work through something or whatever, that you'll be able to hand that down. With all these things being known, tell us what your goal or goals are going forward for this next season.
Goals are, obviously the long-term goal is to make it to the big leagues. That's everyone's goal. That's why we're doing this. Short-term goals are the goals that we applied to myself going into the season. Cutting down the walks. Let's up the strikeouts. We're trying to gain a little velo on our on our average velo, as far as like max velo. Some little things, it'd be cool to make it to the big leagues. That's the ultimate goal, and that's what I'm wishing for.
All right. So just kind of close it out. What are 3 things? We already feel like we kind of know you, but what are 3 things that Astros fans need to know about Jimmy Endersby? It doesn't have to be
I love the
baseball
golf.
related.
I
Okay.
just got into golf, and let me tell you, it is the coolest sport ever. I think I look at it just like baseball. There's adversity, you got to overcome it. When you don't make a putt and you 3-putt, that's a tough feeling. 2 other things. Big soccer fan. I am a crazy soccer fan. I'm already planning a trip next off season. I'm trying to go to Europe to go watch some soccer. I didn't grow up playing it, I grew up watching it. That's one of my favorite things to watch. Last but not least, I don't know. I'd say I'm a big video game player. As soon as I'm done training, I give lessons at night. So I train all morning. I come home. I have about 2 hours myself. I'll play some video games, eat some lunch, and then go give some lessons. That's what I do every day.
All righty.
So there you go.
That's cool. So Jimmy, once again, thank you for coming on the Locked On Astros podcast. Let's try it again. Where can they find you on Twitter?
Jimmy Endersby 20 at Jimmy Endersby 20.
All righty. Go ahead.
And Jimmy, when you get to Sugarland, and I'm speaking it into existence, we need to find some time. We'll take you golfing. It'll be on me, and it'll be on Eric.
Oh yeah,
We'll go take you golfing. Okay.
All right, I'll bring a 4th. We'll run 2s and we'll run scramble.
Hey,
Right.
hey, bring
that.
Hunter. Hey, bring Hunter Brown.
Oh, Hunter would love it. Hunter would love it. I'll bring Hunter.
Will he be big time by then? And it'd be like, who's Jimmy?
I won't let him.
All righty. Well,
All right,
that's
guys.
all we
Thanks
got
for
for
having
this.
me.
Thank you once again, Jimmy. Good luck. Have the rest off season. Get ready for 2022, and hopefully we'll see you in Sugarland. And good luck, and we'll see you. And guys, thank you for tuning into the Locked On Astros podcast. We'll be back again next week with another edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. Go Stros, and hopefully we have some news on the lockout at some point soon, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's all we got. So go Stros.
See you guys. Thank you.
Bye.